Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today, we are out at Tall Grass Shooting Sports, getting ready for the ASP National Conference. And you can see, I have some steel back behind us here, including a Texas Star. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about shooting steel, why I love shooting steel. It's so fun. People get addicted to shooting steel, why we're doing it, and some of the ways that using steel can really benefit you as a defensive shooter.
Hey Aspers, would you join me today in welcoming the newest sponsor of Active Self-Protection, Mr. Target. Mr. Target is the sponsor of today's video. If you're looking for excellently engineered steel targets that will withstand thousands and thousands of pistol, rifle, or shotgun rounds, Mr. Target is my go-to resource. They've got self-sealing rubber targets too, and you can see us use them all the time on the Active Self-Protection Extra YouTube channel. Hit the link in the description to check Mr. Target out, and be sure to thank them for sponsoring today's video.
So of course, anything you do shooting steel is going to be fun. It gives you audible feedback because you get that ting, right? So it gives you that dopamine hit. If you've never shot steel, I'm telling you, man, get to an outdoor range. This isn't really something you could do on an indoor range, because what happens, of course, is you get your round impacts the steel, and then the steel, if it's properly designed, like this wonderful stuff from Mr. Target that we just got, they're our newest sponsor. Come and go check them out. We'll put a link in the description. What it does is it directs the spall, or the little pieces of the bullet that kind of splatter, downward, and so gets that away from you. You don't want to do that on an indoor range though, right? Because then it's going to hit the ground in front of you. It's probably going to bounce up from there because it's almost certainly a concrete floor in an indoor range. That can cause some problems. So we do this on outdoor ranges, right? And one of the things that we want to watch out for is getting too close to it. I see people doing this. I've seen this in groups, and people getting up and shooting steel really close. The only time you can shoot steel really close is if you have frangible ammunition. I don't have any frangible ammunition out here today. I am shooting 115 grain full metal jackets from Magtech, like I always shoot. And so, another one of our sponsors, right? So what we want to do is with pistol, we want to be at least 7 yards away from steel. I prefer to stay at least 10. Another bit of precaution that we always take is we recognize that because we have spall coming back at us and we have much higher risk of spall coming back to us, I'm going to stand at 10 yards. You can still get pieces of shrapnel that come back. Make sure we have our eyes and ears on, and we always make sure that we have our med kit available and close, right? Because there's a higher chance that things go wrong, and a higher chance that you end up with a penetrating wound, higher chance you end up needing to do some emergency trauma care. I've seen people with arterial bleeds, even from really small pieces of steel out here. You can hear them shooting on the next range, right? The closest I've ever come to losing an eye was shooting an IPSC Steel Challenge match out in Panama, actually. I was in Panama and had a piece of steel embed, or a piece of a case of a round embed in my eye from an out-of-battery detonation out on the range. So make sure you got your eyes and ears on, make sure you got your medical around you, make sure that you use standoff from steel, okay? Don't shoot steel too close. When we start talking about rifles, higher power projectiles, we want to be much farther away as well, okay? Much farther. We're not going to talk about that today. We also want to talk about, this is brand new steel. This particular steel we just got from Mr. Target. Fantastic stuff. We'll talk about that in another video and give him a full review. I haven't even shot him yet. And so we're going to shoot him up a little bit. You can hear him testing some stuff over on the range next door. And you know, if your steel gets shot up and it gets shot by rounds that have too much velocity, or you're shooting, say what I see people do, is they shoot it with rifles too close, and that starts putting pock marks in the steel, and instead of a smooth surface, you end up with a very uneven surface, or you end up with edges and ridges in the surface. Then you get a much higher risk of having rounds come back at you, okay? And so we don't want to do that. We're just going to shoot full metal jackets on it. We're just going to shoot, you know, standard power pistol rounds today, and that's the kind of stuff you want to do to be safe on steel. Got it? So we're going to talk about these guys on another video, but what I want you to see here is what's known as a Texas Star. Now, if you've ever shot competition, you probably have seen a Texas Star, and what that is you have 5 little targets here around a wheel that rotates, which is kind of fun, right? So obviously you don't rotate it at the start. It is sitting stationary. Usually most places that I've seen start with something up tall here that is open, and then once you shoot one of them, this guy, it gets a little unbalanced, so it'll start to move. And so what the Texas Star shows you to do is you got to get a good hit on it to make this target fall out and fall off. And then once it does, that will start this thing moving, and it'll change the way it moves based on where you shoot it. So it is a fantastic trainer for transitions because it makes you shoot moving targets. So you got to think about, am I going to swing through with this target, or am I going to ambush this target? By swinging through, what I mean is if the target's moving this way and then I bring my sight here and follow it, ping, and hit it this way. Instead of, if I ambush it, I see that it's coming this way, I put my sights here, and then bang, I send my round when the target comes onto where I'm aiming. So which one of those is the right one? In my opinion, you got to play with it a little bit, and there's times for both, okay? There's times to catch it and run with it, and then there's times to ambush it. I tend to be more of an ambusher, but I'm not telling you that's the best route for you. I'm telling you that you got to come out and shoot it. The best way, in my opinion, to get some time on these is, of course, you can, if you have a beautiful outdoor range, if you're like Neil, and you've got your own outdoor range, or you've got access to one, you throw it in the back of your car, take it out, sure, by all means, buy your own. Or be a part of a shooting club, shoot some competitive matches. You'll shoot this stuff all the time. So I'm gonna shoot the Texas Star a couple times for you, just to show you what I mean on doing these transitions. And people get really bent around the axle on, hey, what time did you shoot all the steel in? And of course, if you're shooting competition, the times that you shoot each thing really matter. And so how fast you're able to do it really matters. But in the beginning phases, what really matters is simply get the gun on target, get your first shot to get the thing kind of moving, and then track it around and then get your transitions moving. And so I don't recommend to start with your timer immediately. Of course, you're eventually gonna have to go to a timer to have some objective measures. But at the beginning, just shoot it and see how it does, and then go back and start to add a timer later. Let's shoot it a couple times, let you see what I'm talking about. See me standing all the way over here on the side, just so I can be in front of the steel and show it to you and make sure that I'm out of the way so that you can see it, okay? So all I'm gonna do here is I am gonna, hey, there's a little spider right here. I don't want to smoosh you, but I also don't want you crawling up my leg, little buddy. All right, I'm gonna shoot this steel. Again, on this particular one, I'm not even gonna draw, right? Because what I'm really interested in is the transitions. So this particular steel's never been shot before, and you can actually see that we have targets back behind. So I've got a full magazine and a round in the chamber like I knew I did, okay? So all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put my sights, which I'm using the 32 minute of angle, circle only, on my 507, and I am going to put a shot on there, and then as it starts going, I'm gonna pick what's the next one I wanna get going. So again, I'm just sitting here thinking, all right, there it is, see it. Boy, you saw there. Did you see on that third one? I got the first two pretty good, and then the third one, I was all around it. I was close to it, but I never actually got it, right? So I sent several rounds a little bit before, so I got a little loose. Then after that third one cleaned up, I was able to get the fourth and the fifth one, settling my sights down again. So what does that tell you and remind you? It reminded me, hey man, when your sights actually are over the target is when you gotta send it, you gotta be visually patient. Let's reset it and do it again. So an interesting bit that you can see from my hit pattern on here, you can see kind of where each one was. Let's do it one more time. I got 8 rounds left in the gun. Let's see if we can do that and be patient with each one and not get the 3 misses that we had on the third one. All right, here we go. We've got it. Are we ready? Go. That last one didn't even move, and I needed an extra one on that too. So it doesn't help when I miss the very first one, right? Kind of look like a goofball. So this is a great beginning way to just work on your target transitions, right? Just to work on seeing those and getting them on target. And again, okay, you missed. Now, you know the rule at Active Self-Protection. I missed, it wasn't my best 2 runs. Okay, well, I guess what? I shot them, I recorded it, so it's gonna be on camera. Let's do it one more time, see if I can clean it up. Here we go, one more time. Eyes and ears, you guys have your ears on? All right, so again, not caring about the timer at this point, just simply coming out here and going, I'm gonna shoot one of the ones, I'm actually gonna shoot the one to the left so that it starts swinging and make it move a little bit more, okay? Come on, John, settle the sights. So I'll tell you what happened on that second to last one. I literally saw it and I saw it above and I said, send it anyways, because I got impatient with my trigger. And that's a mistake. So, it's the best I had today, right? I wish I had better for you guys. My performance was stronger, but go out and shoot the Texas Star. It's kind of fun.